Life often feels like a giant puzzle, scattered across time, with pieces that never seem to fit, no matter how hard you try. You move through seasons of waiting, through endless questions, through moments where you almost convince yourself that maybe the piece doesn't even exist. But deep down, your soul knows it's out there. Somewhere in the world, hidden in plain sight, is the one who carries the missing fragment of your story. And when they appear, it will not be with thunder or lightning, but with something far more powerful. A single phrase. Words so ordinary that if they came from anyone else, you would dismiss them instantly. But when spoken by the one written into your destiny, those words don't just reach your ears, they pierce straight into your spirit. Suddenly, everything you doubted fades. Everything you feared dissolves. And in its place arises a certainty that no argument, no circumstance, no shadow can erase. This is not about infatuation. It's not about coincidence. This is about recognition, the deepest recognition your soul will ever encounter. In this message, you are about to enter a revelation that will shift the way you see love, destiny, and divine timing. Because when those words are spoken, you won't just hear them. You will feel them in every fiber of your being. They will echo like a forgotten memory, awakening the part of you that has been waiting, searching, yearning. And in that moment, you will know that destiny is no longer a theory. It is real, it is alive, and it is calling your name. Stay with me until the end, because what you are about to hear could be the very confirmation you have been praying for. And before we go any deeper, I want you to do something bold. If you believe you are ready to recognize your soulmate when heaven sends them, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment 99 below. Why 99? Because it represents divine completion, the final piece of the puzzle coming into place, and that, chosen one, is exactly what this message is about to reveal. There are words you've heard 1,000 times in your life, phrases that pass in and out of conversations, leaving no trace behind. But when they fall from the lips of the one written into your destiny, they transform completely. They carry a vibration that cuts through every wall you've built, slicing past years of disappointment, reaching the hidden places of your soul that no one else has ever touched. It isn't about grand speeches or rehearsed declarations. It isn't about flowers, dramatic gestures, or fairy tale promises. It's about a sentence so pure, so unfiltered, that it feels like the language of eternity itself has been spoken directly into your heart. Imagine someone looking into your eyes, not with judgment, not with expectation, but with a recognition so deep that it disarms you completely. They whisper, "You don't have to pretend with me." And suddenly, decades of defense mechanisms, the masks you've worn, the weight of pretending to be stronger than you really are, all of it collapses. In its place rises freedom. Not the kind of freedom the world offers, but the kind of freedom that feels like being seen for the very first time. This is the power of words beyond romance. Romance seeks to impress, to persuade, to charm. But destiny speaks differently. Destiny doesn't try to convince, it simply reveals, and that revelation changes everything. Think about how many times people have told you, "I love you," without meaning it. How many promises have been empty echoes. Those words never pierced your soul because they were hollow. But when the right voice says even the simplest phrase, it feels as if heaven itself is confirming something you always suspected but never dared to believe. You were never forgotten. You were never unseen. There is an urgency here, because most people spend their lives chasing words that sound beautiful but carry no spirit. They chase the glitter, the performance, the loud declarations that fade as quickly as they come. But the chosen ones, those marked by destiny, know the difference. They know the moment when a phrase stops being a phrase and becomes a doorway to belonging, a doorway to recognition. And you, chosen one, must be ready for that moment, because when it comes, your soul will not let you ignore it. The beauty is that these words don't come to excite your emotions. They come to awaken your identity. They do not create love, they reveal it. They do not manufacture connection, they uncover it. And in that uncovering, you realize something profound. All the pain you endured, all the nights you wondered if anyone would ever truly understand you, were preparing you to recognize this very instant. Without the emptiness, you wouldn't have noticed the fullness. Without the silence, you wouldn't have recognized the voice. Now hear me carefully, because this is where the mystery intensifies. The words may sound ordinary to an outsider. They might sound like phrases anyone could say. But you will know by the way they land. Your body will react before your mind does. Your spirit will vibrate with an undeniable certainty, a certainty that says, "Here it is. This is the piece I've been missing." And in that second, it will feel as if time itself pauses, as if everything you lived was leading to that exact breath, that exact sound, that exact truth. But here is the question you must carry forward. If those words are not always wrapped in poetry, if they are not announced with trumpets or grand gestures, then how will you prepare yourself to recognize them when they come? Because the most dangerous thing is not missing the moment, it is doubting it when it arrives. And that, chosen one, is a question that will only be answered in the next revelation. There is a sacred difference between words that flatter your emotions and words that awaken your soul. When someone tries to convince you of love, your mind argues. It questions, it analyzes, it digs for evidence. But when your soulmate speaks, none of that resistance rises. Their words bypass the noise of logic and land in the deepest chambers of your being, not as a suggestion, not as persuasion, but as a recognition. It is the same feeling as hearing a melody you've never heard before, yet somehow knowing every note. The moment they speak, something ancient inside you remembers. It is not learning, it is remembering. It is not discovery, it is recognition. And recognition is undeniable. You won't find yourself replaying the conversation in your head, wondering if you imagined it. You won't lie awake questioning if it was real. Instead, you will feel a peace that silences the storm. A calm so deep it almost frightens you, because you realize you've never known it before. The confusion, the anxiety, the restless search, all of it dissolves in one instant, as if light has broken through the clouds you carried for years. That is how the soul announces the truth. It doesn't scream, it doesn't argue, it aligns. Imagine wandering in a desert, parched, uncertain if water even exists. You've searched so long that doubt became your companion, and then suddenly you stumble upon a spring. The first sip is not just relief, it's proof. You no longer wonder if water is real because it flows across your tongue, filling every part of you. This is what it feels like when your soulmate speaks those words. Proof, confirmation, alignment. You realize that every detour, every heartbreak, every unanswered question was leading you here. The home you were seeking was not a place, it was a voice. But here is the paradox. When the soul recognizes truth, the mind often panics. It tries to interrupt, to control, to explain what cannot be explained. And this is where many people miss their moment. They dismiss what they feel because it doesn't make sense in their head. But you, chosen one, cannot afford to silence your spirit for the sake of your logic. Because your spirit is the compass designed to lead you into destiny, while logic is often too slow to keep up with eternity. There will be signs in your body. Your chest will loosen, as if a weight you didn't even know you were carrying has been lifted. Your breathing will deepen. Even your silence will feel different, no longer empty, but full. And in that stillness, a phrase will echo inside you with absolute certainty. This is the one my spirit has been waiting for. The urgency is this. When that moment comes, you cannot hesitate. Doubt will try to creep in, whispering, "What if you're wrong? What if it's too soon? What if it's just wishful thinking?" But the soul doesn't deal in what-ifs. The soul knows. And that knowing will feel so final, so unshakable, that you will understand why every counterfeit connection in your past never lasted. They were practice, shadows preparing you to recognize the real thing. And yet, here is the mystery that keeps the story alive. Recognition, is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning. That moment of certainty does not close the book, it opens it. It is the turning of the first true page. And if you're wondering what unfolds after that recognition, what destiny dares to write when two souls finally align, then you must keep listening, because the revelation waiting for you will change everything. We live in a world addicted to noise, to spectacle, to constant stimulation. Movies show us grand confessions, social media floods us with exaggerated declarations, and culture teaches us that love must always be dramatic to be real. But the truth, the sacred truth of destiny, is far more subtle. The soul does not awaken through fireworks. It awakens through keys, small, ordinary words that somehow open doors you didn't even realize were locked. And here lies the mystery. Those words may seem insignificant to everyone else, but to you, they carry the weight of eternity. Think about this. I'm with you. 3 short words. To most, they might sound casual, even forgettable. But when spoken by the one written into your story, they shatter chains. They silence abandonment. They rewrite every memory where you felt alone. In that moment, those words aren't just a promise. They are a doorway into belonging. Or take another phrase, don't be afraid. You've heard it before, perhaps countless times. But when destiny speaks it through the right voice, fear doesn't just decrease, it collapses. It's as if your soul finally recognizes that you are safe, not because the world changed, but because someone finally carries the strength to walk through it with you. And then, there is perhaps the most vulnerable of them all. I need you. We are taught to hide need, to disguise it, to fear it. But when your soulmate says those words, they are not a burden. They are a revelation. They tell you that love is not about perfection, but about interdependence. They tell you that strength is not found in isolation, but in shared vulnerability. And suddenly, the walls you built to protect yourself feel unnecessary, because the one before you doesn't want to harm you. They want to heal with you. These phrases act like hidden keys, unlocking rooms in your heart that have been locked for years, perhaps decades. Doors you shut after betrayal. Doors you bolted after heartbreak. Doors you sealed when you decided that being understood was impossible. And yet, with one simple phrase, your soulmate finds the exact key, almost as if they've been carrying it all along. The impact is so profound because it's not about the elegance of the words, it's about the alignment of spirit. Who says it matters? How they say it matters. The energy behind their voice, the honesty in their tone, the depth in their eyes. This is what your soul recognizes as real. And here is where it becomes even more fascinating. Many times, the one speaking has no idea of the weight their words carry. To them, it may feel natural, even unremarkable. They are simply speaking what they feel, without calculation, without performance. But your soul catches it. Your spirit seizes it like a divine code, a sacred password written into your destiny before time began. This is why you cannot dismiss the ordinary, because the extraordinary is often hidden in the simplest disguise. The urgency here is clear. You must train your heart to listen, not just to sound, but to spirit. Because when that moment comes, you will not recognize it through logic. You will recognize it through vibration. A vibration that says, this is different. This is true. This is the key I've been waiting for. But now comes the real question, the one that should keep you leaning forward, unable to turn away. If those words act as keys, then what exactly are they unlocking inside of you? What happens when the final lock is opened and your soul steps into the room it has been denied for so long? The answer, chosen one, is not just about love. It is about transformation. And that revelation is what we will uncover next. When the destined words are spoken, you feel something more powerful than butterflies, more lasting than infatuation, more sacred than fleeting attraction. You feel the shift. It is not dramatic on the outside. No fireworks, no lightning, no roaring applause. Instead, it happens in the quietest of ways. yet it alters everything. It's as if an unseen compass that had been spinning endlessly inside of you finally stops. And for the first time, it points clearly, unwaveringly, to one true north. That is the moment you realize you are no longer wandering. You have arrived. Before this encounter, fear held you like a shadow. Loneliness felt like an anchor. Doubt whispered into every silent moment. But after those words, the atmosphere of your inner world changes. Fear may still knock at your door, but it no longer rules you. Loneliness may try to creep back in, but it no longer feels heavy. Doubt may attempt to whisper, but now there is a louder truth echoing over it. It is the assurance that you are seen, chosen, and no longer walking alone. That assurance doesn't fade. It grows stronger with each passing interaction. What once felt like ordinary conversations now take on a different texture. Their words feel heavier, not because of pressure, but because of depth. Their silence is no longer awkward but sacred, like two souls speaking without needing sound. Even conflict feels different, not like a threat to survival, but like a test of strength that both of you already know you can endure together. The presence of your soulmate doesn't erase challenges, but it transforms how you face them. Instead of fighting battles with trembling hands, you now face storms with the unshakable confidence that you are not standing alone. This shift is subtle, yet undeniable. It shows itself in small things, the way you breathe deeper around them, the way you laugh more freely, the way even your body begins to rest in their presence. It shows itself in the way time feels different. Moments together seem to expand, while time apart sharpens your awareness of just how significant this bond is. And the most mysterious part? You realize you are changing, not because you're trying to impress them, but because their presence awakens a higher version of you. They don't demand transformation, they inspire it. Here lies the revelation. The words they spoke were not just an entrance, they were a foundation, a cornerstone on which something unbreakable begins to rise. With every new memory, every shared glance, every whisper of truth between you, the structure becomes stronger. It is not built on infatuation. It is not built on illusions. It is built on recognition. It is built on destiny. And that is why it cannot be easily shaken. But perhaps the most extraordinary part of this shift is not what you feel in their presence, but what you feel in your own soul. You begin to recognize yourself in a new way. You realize that the missing piece you thought was outside of you was always connected to what had been inside you all along. And as this realization deepens, you understand that this connection is not here to complete you, it is here to align you. And so the question becomes, chosen one, if the shift after their words is this powerful, if it can reorient your soul, rewrite your fears, and awaken your truest self, what greater mystery is waiting when destiny itself decides to test and refine that connection? The answer lies ahead, and it will take you even deeper into the truth of what it means to be chosen. Doubt is a loud voice in this world. It tells you that love is random, that timing is cruel, that maybe you imagined the moment, that maybe what you felt was nothing more than infatuation dressed in poetry. But doubt belongs to the mind, and the mind can only measure what it understands. The soul, however, operates in a realm beyond comprehension. The soul doesn't measure, the soul knows. And when your soulmate speaks the words destined for you, there is no convincing, no persuading, no bargaining. Their words flow with a purity that cannot be fabricated. The way rivers run into the sea without effort, the way stars shine without being asked. They don't need to try. They simply are. What makes this undeniable is not the intensity of emotion, but the permanence of recognition. You may try to brush it off. You may try to distract yourself. You may even attempt to silence it. But once the vibration of destiny enters your spirit, you cannot unhear it. It marks you. It realigns you. And even if days, months, or years pass, those words will echo as if they were spoken only moments ago. Because they weren't just sounds. They were codes, spiritual codes written before the foundation of the earth, finally unlocked in your timeline. This is why destiny cannot be denied. Circumstances may rise like mountains. Timing may seem cruel. Distance may stretch like endless oceans. But what belongs to you cannot be stolen, delayed, or erased. When heaven authors a connection, no human hand can edit the script. Every obstacle becomes part of the preparation. Every delay becomes part of the refinement. And in the end, the words you heard remain the anchor that pulls you back to truth again and again. You were chosen to encounter this love. Understand this clearly. Your soulmate's words are not manipulative. They don't come to control. They don't come to bind you in fear. They don't come with hidden motives. They are effortless, spoken without calculation, almost unaware of their eternal weight. And that's the very proof. Because destiny does not need performance to reveal itself. It does not arrive rehearsed. It arrives naturally, like a sunrise no one can stop. And when it arrives, it silences every counterfeit you've ever known. Some will question you. Some will call it coincidence. Some will say you're imagining it. But deep within, you will feel the same unshakable peace that has been with every chosen one throughout history. You will know, because the soul cannot be tricked. And while the mind wrestles with explanations, the soul whispers with certainty. This is written. This is mine. This is undeniable. And here lies the greatest mystery of all. Destiny does not ask for your permission to unfold. It simply moves, in its perfect timing, with its perfect force. You may resist, but the pull will remain. You may doubt, but the truth will echo louder. You may fear, but peace will win. Because when heaven seals a bond, nothing on earth, nothing in time, nothing in darkness can undo it. And so, chosen one, you must ask yourself, if these words have the power to mark you forever, if they survive doubt, distance, and time itself, what happens when destiny not only reveals, but demands an answer from you? That, my friend, is the threshold we are about to step into. And so, chosen one, the moment you have been preparing for is not in some distant future. It is written into your path, waiting for the exact second heaven decides to unveil it. When that person speaks those words, you will not just hear them, you will know. Not with logic, not with the fragile evidence of the mind, but with the deepest, most unshakable certainty your soul has ever carried. It will not feel like fantasy. It will not feel like chance. It will feel like truth itself, crashing into your spirit like a wave you cannot resist. It will feel like destiny finally catching up with you after years of searching, after decades of wandering. This is not just about love. It is about recognition. It is about the universe revealing that you were never lost, never forgotten, never abandoned. The missing piece of your puzzle will fall perfectly into place, and every unanswered question, every silent night, every lonely prayer will suddenly make sense. Because in that moment, you will see that nothing was wasted. Every step was leading you here. Every storm was preparing you. Every tear was watering the ground for this exact encounter. And when your eyes meet theirs, when their voice carries the weight of eternity into your chest, let your soul answer without hesitation. Let your spirit whisper the truth it has carried all along. I was waiting for you, and now you're here. Those words will not just seal a connection, they will ignite a destiny. They will awaken a mission. They will confirm that what is written in heaven cannot be erased by earth. So walk forward, not in fear, but in fire. Hold your head high, because you are not just hoping for destiny, you are chosen to live it. And when the moment comes, do not doubt. Do not delay. Do not silence what your soul already knows. Now, if this message burned in your heart, if you feel destiny stirring even now, I want you to declare it in the comments. Write, "It is written," in full force. Because that declaration is not just engagement, it is alignment. It is your spirit saying to heaven, I am ready, I am waiting, I believe. Chosen one, remember these final words. Destiny cannot be denied. Truth cannot be silenced. And when it arrives, your life will never be the same again.